Good morning, everybody. This is your DAX day trade setups for today. So we have been in this flag formation for 2 weeks now, and got a bit of bad news coming out of China with a lot of unrest at the moment in China over COVID. It's bound to happen. People can't earn a living. So at the moment, it does look like we have a bit of a break. Looking at the oscillators, I don't really want to be jumping in long up here, especially not when they look like that. We are in an uptrend. I'm looking for a pullback onto structure. These two levels that I've drawn in here are pretty much weekly levels. So there's my first weekly level, and there's my second weekly level. So that would be the zone. It's also the flag target, which would be 14158. So I'd expect some kind of a pullback into this. If you look at the weekly, we haven't really had a crossover of the moving averages yet to indicate a bull trend that is starting. So, this is kind of in limbo right now. If we look at it in the daily or on the daily chart, we can see we're extremely overbought. We are extremely extended from the moving averages. We do have a crossover, and we're busy crossing over the 155. But I'd want to see some kind of a pullback to either test the 155 or test the previous breaks. Now, there is a cluster of, I'm going to put these levels in as well. So there is a cluster of potential support in amongst here as well. So those are the levels we need to pay attention to. And this area here, which we'll look at the lower time frames now, is our wedge target as well. So that would be something that would interest me at the moment. So let's just get down to levels we need to trade. Nothing new on the 8 hour. That is the zone of support just below us. We get down to the 3 hour, and immediately you can see oscillators are easing off. We do have a lot of potential support in this zone. Just going to do that. So you can see previous highs here from 2 weeks ago, and then we didn't really, we rejected it, and then we built a base off it, but we haven't tested it. So that's another area which we need to pay attention to, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is bottom of the wedge as well. So possible that it actually bounces off there as well. So right now pointing down, separated slightly, so they have eased off quite nicely on the oscillators. And if we start drilling down to the hour, we can now see exactly what is transpiring. So first things first, this was a close below this area here. It is messy. I mean, there is another little one a little bit lower down, and each one of these tails would offer some kind of support. Now you look at it on the hour. Let's just do that. The wedge is broken. Okay, so if you look at that on the hour, wedge is definitely broken. The big question is it a wedge break, or has it formed or trying to form some form of a channel? So if you look at the oscillators, we are coming up to an area of support, and a bit of a messy inside bar here off potential support, but could be of interest. My concern is that we've got these gaps to the downside. There's a gap, there's another gap there, and I think there was another gap here on the 15 minutes somewhere, but those gaps are still open. So we could form a channel, but I would assume that we're going to either hit 14,320, possibly even 14,219 for that channel to form. So at the moment on the hour, trend is still up. No debate about that. We've got an area or a zone of support here which we are bouncing off at the moment. We do need to wait for the European Open. Friday was a bit messy, which was expected with long weekend happening in the USA. You can see what I mean by messy, all over the place. And now what we have is another little bit of a mess forming. So for the bearish case here, break of the trend line, crossover of the moving averages. So I would argue that one of these tails, I'm not going to draw all of them, but one of these tails here or here would offer some form of resistance, and that would also double as the retest of the flag break for a move to the downside. So that would be the bearish case. So for me at the moment, if we get this rejection at 14,488, then I definitely would expect us to attempt 14,447 again. If we get through 14,447, then you are looking at the wedge target, which is down here at 14,320. So that is kind of the bearish case at the moment. There are gaps. There is a little gap. I did see one. Yeah. No, that one's close. Sorry. No gaps there, but there are definitely gaps lower down here. There's another little one down there. So there are little gaps all the way down at the moment, and all the way down here to 14,320. That's kind of the view that I've got at the moment. Watch the 15 minutes. It's going to be interesting. So any one of these lows, or even the low from Friday. So there's the low of Friday, and then there's a little another little base that was formed from Friday. Now that lines up with the moving averages that have crossed over. So any rejection in this area, I'm going to take it as a validation of the flag. And then we're looking for a short. We will be short on the break of structure, stop just above the structure, and we are looking at 14,320. I'll double check. Sorry, 14,320 would be my first target. Take some money off the table there. Then a conservative view of the wedge target would be 14,219, but probably 14,200 would be the wedge, the actual wedge target. That would be down here. But anyway, that's kind of my view at the moment. Just keep those stops really tight, because this could actually just shoot all the way up and close the gap as well. Although I don't really see a setup for that at the moment, but anything's possible. Markets have been pretty volatile, so you just need to keep your wits about you. Anyway, that's kind of the move that I'm waiting for. If we do close the gap, then I'm going to still sit back and wait for a retest of structure lower down before looking to buy again. That's kind of my view anyway. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.